we go. Good morning, people. I need this today. I really need this today because I didn't get a lot of sleep last night. But I am here dedicated to you, as always, and I'm glad some of you are already here. Welcome. It's morning. And that's good because this is the Morning Night Live. Boy, oh boy, it's FTG Thursday. Get your typing fingers ready, or your thumb picking fingers ready for the FTG today. There are plenty, and there's lots of headlines. I'm not going to get too deep into stories today. Just the headlines alone have me just shaking my head, and it's just going to be one of those days. So let's get into it. Play the intro. See you in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, PDawg Knight. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as PDawgKnight on the internet, and welcome back to the PDawg Knight Channel. Today is Thursday, also known around these parts as FTG Thursday. If you're not sure what that is, just ask people in the chat. And it is the 29th of October. I said Thursday already. And 2 more days to Halloween. And I just found out from a couple of the neighbors that, yes, in my neighborhood, the kiddies are going to be out trick-or-treating. Now, we got some guidance from the state of Minnesota, which was interesting, on how to have you can have a low-risk Halloween, you can have a middle-risk Halloween, or you can have a high-risk Halloween. But to have a mid-risk Halloween, you can still have trick-or-treating, right? You can still have trick-or-treating as long as you have individual bags that kids can just pick up, whatever. So we're going to put all our full-size Snickers bars and Mars bars. We're going whole hog this year, giving kids out the really good stuff. And we're just going to put them in Ziploc bags, and we have a little fire pit, because it's only going to be like the high 40s, low 50s, high 40s here. It's kind of cold for Halloween, but you know what? We're going to do it. I'm going to have the fire out there. I might do the one year, the first year we lived in this house, I had my portable fire pit in the middle of the driveway with big old flaming fire. And then I had this like black robe with a hood down over my eyes like this. And I had an axe in my hand, and I stood and I had we had a bunch of Halloween decorations out, right? And so I just stood there as still as I could. So I looked kind of like a full-size, statue Halloween decoration. And when the kids would walk by me, I would just slowly scrape the axe. Oh my goodness, we already have our first super chat of the day. Thank you for the donation from Moonbase Security for the $5 through YouTube super chat, who says, reminder, all union aerospace employees, use of the quantum teleporter is strictly forbidden. Okay. By the way, someone did what was it the other? Thank you very much. Moonbase Security, I greatly appreciate it. Oh, I gotta move this to regular chat too. Let me change this to live chat real quick. Thank you so much, Moonbase Security, for the first super chat of the day. Thank you. By the way, someone the other day did a joke about the gun company, and it was, what was that? Let me see if I can find that one, because now it wasn't from aliens. What the hell was that? It was from Starship Troopers, and I can't remember the name of the gun company, but I was funny, and I was so confused. And then you said aliens. Aliens? No, that was Starship Troopers. Anyway, thank you very much. Why is this ad popping up on my screen over here? Anyway, so someone's explained the FTGs in there in the chat, and thank you for doing that. And we've got a lot today. And that's why I'm going to go through a lot of headlines. But first, let let's say hi to everybody first, because there is some news from yesterday that I got to get out before I get into some of the FTG stuff. Good morning to everyone in the chat. First of all, in the chat today, oh no, why did this reset? I know that I wasn't the first person here. Gosh darn it, what happened there? I can't. Keenan, were you here for Keenan? I'm gonna give you the bell. I think you were here first. So let's just give you the little bell thingy there. Come on, bell thingy, work. What the hell's going on here? This is not Boomer Tech. This is just sometimes if I click over there, I have to do the bell with I click over here, and it doesn't quite work. So it might just pop up any weird time that we might see it, and it's not working. So anyway, oh, there it goes. Well, I'm going to say hi to everyone in the chat. Unfortunately, it knocked out the first few people in the chat, but I'll just say hi to everybody. Good morning to Maddie. Maddie, were you here first? Maybe it was Maddie who was here first. Well, here, Maddie, you get a bell too. All right. So anyway, good morning to Maddie from MWM Media. CNN sucks, the most redundant name on the internet. Good morning to Tyler F, Richo, my friend from down under, Keenan. Hello, Becca Farley. How you doing? Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
Also, good morning to Hard Disk Fail, Leon, or Jesse Leon, Zebulon Pike. What it do? How you doing? Balin Bobby, nice to see you back. Good morning, Gun Fox 61, my Discord administrator. By the way, I need to. I don't know. Did that show up in the chat yesterday? I tried to make. I set my. What do they call it? CloudBot on Streamlabs. I set it so that it would work. I don't know. I'll make sure that's working. Good morning, Annalyn, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian, Renee Mayette. How you doing? Good morning to Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate, Dawg, who says hi to Bexa. Good morning to Cindy Rochelle, James PFP, K Shull. I always start to say that wrong, but hello. Good morning. Did I say Cindy Rochelle? Yes, I did. I said that, and I said, who else is in here? Good gracious. There's a whole lot of, okay, there you go. Someone's learning what FTG means. Good morning, too. All you need. Nice to see you back. Uncle Bad Touch. We know that you're really Joe Biden. Moonbase Security. I said Richo. Chi-Town J. Aaron Meredith. I could have sworn I saw a Stabbing Joe Scarborough here somewhere, but maybe I didn't. But keep the knife sharp if you're here. Also, Reese Donald, how you doing? Jesse Leon, I think I said that already. So I'm okay. I'm getting caught up. It's just tough when there's we start out with we almost got 40 people here already. Good morning, Ronan. How you doing? Bishop. That's a new name. Off to the dentist. Catch the show later. Okay, nice to see you. Thanks for being here, and drive safely. If you have you in your car, don't look, just listen. And Simon Wolford, how you doing? All right. So first thing in the news today is there is a weather event there was a weather event in Louisiana. I'll do the New York Post story. One person dead, 500,000 lose power as Hurricane Zeta tears through Louisiana. One person was killed, and more than 500,000 people across Louisiana lost power Wednesday evening as Hurricane Zeta slammed through the state, flooding the streets and bringing down power lines. Hello, Marcus Galagas. That's a name. And Zolab, you woke up just in time. I hope I said that right. Oh, Zoble. Hello, Zoble. That's an interesting name. And also, hi, Michael Hatfield. The coroner in Louisiana said a 55-year-old man was electrocuted by downed power lines due to ferocious winds. One of the state's largest utility companies, Entergy, said that more than 477,000 customers in Louisiana lost power as of about 9:45 p.m. Eastern Time, and the number was on the rise. Roughly 69,000 customers of smaller utility firm Clayco also lost power. The company said, "Thank you, Pincalo," with the 149 Canadian in the super chats with a little sign that just says, "Nope." I don't know what we're noping to, but I'm with you, brother. Nope, we ain't doing it. Okay. Yeah, so this, it sucks. Jefferson Parish. Now it's funny, I was just down there 2 years ago. Jefferson Parish in southeastern Louisiana and neighboring New Orleans Parish collectively made up more than 330,000 of the outages, many in the city of New Orleans, according to Entergy's site. Videos and images posted on social media show the storm tearing down power lines, flooding the streets, even washing boats ashore. Look, here's the thing. Feel very fortunate if you're in that area that it isn't like the last time you had that event. I mean, it's awful, man. They you know, it's funny. Like I said, we were down there. Was it 2 years ago? Let's see. Yeah, 2 years ago, and there were still areas that had not completely recovered from Katrina. I mean, just some places they just said, "Fuck it, we're leaving," and didn't even repair what they had. But we went and ate at this place. There's the best place in New Orleans. I can't remember the name of it now, to get a po' boy sandwich. And we, you know, we went to eat there, and but we saw pictures of when it was Katrina, and that place was like literally half underwater, the entire restaurant. And there were places down there that, you know, had been totally devastated. So, you know, yes, power outage for 500 people, and unfortunately one person died. But here it says, the good news for us, and look, you take good news where you can find it. The storm's forward speed is 17 miles an hour. That's projected to increase, so it's going to get in and out of the area relatively quickly. Then we're going to be able to assess the damage more quickly, Governor John Bel Edwards said in an interview with the Weather Channel. Grand Isle, we were there too, which sits in a narrow barrier in the Gulf of Mexico, is under a mandatory evacuation order, and so on and so forth. Yeah, it was a tough day. So, but you know, if you are, if they have, oh, we got another one here. Thank you, Snapper Joe Scarborough, who says, "Morning, PDawg. I'll listen on the road. I'm off to the dispensary." Ooh, buzz, get your buzz on. What? Oh, you live in one of those states that have dispensaries. Huh. Yeah, interesting. Thank you for the $10 super chat via YouTube. By the way, if you want to do donations, you can use YouTube super chat, or you can use the Streamlab link in the description down below, or it's right there in the chat. It says, share this stream with people you interact. Oh, that's a share. Well, there's somewhere in this, it'll show up in the stream. Thank you so much, Stab and Joe Scarborough. All right, and let me see if I can fix this cloud bot real quick and make sure that the Discord. I see Gunfox61 has added the link to the Discord server into the chat, and I'm also going to fix this timer on the cloud bot and figure out why it's not sending it out. Okay, right here. Join the PDawgKnight Discord server. Oh, that's why. I put too many lines minimum. Let's make this about a 20. Let's go 25 line minimum. Now that'll show up in the chat a little more often now. All right. So today there's a whole bunch of things that happened yesterday. And one of the big ones, let me see if I can make sure, where the hell did I do my bookmarks here? Let's see. Hang on a second. Well, one was the CEOs of some of the tech companies were summoned, so to speak, to talk to the Senate committee, right? And Jack Dorsey, who came in kind of looking like Osama bin Laden with his weird facial hair. Sorry, I'm having some I'm having some Joe Biden difficulties right now. He said some things really interesting when Senator Ted Cruz was interviewing him, and this is the exchange that kind of summed up what this whole Senate hearing was like. "Who the hell elected you?" Ted Cruz criticizes Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey for censoring New York Post, denying the platform impacts elections, which, if that's the case, I have some questions for the social media platforms if they don't impact elections. But I digress. Good morning, Spambot22. Come on, man, spit it out. Yeah. Republican Senator Ted Cruz criticized Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey on Wednesday for censoring stories from the New York Post about Democratic presidential candidate Joe Biden and his son, Hunter Biden. During a Senate committee hearing on big tech censorship, Cruz grilled Dorsey with a number of questions in regards to Twitter's decision to suspend the New York Post from its platform, saying he believes the social media giants are interfering in the 2020 elections by censoring and suspending accounts which share stories on Hunter Biden from the New York Post. Now, let's just watch it because this was pretty damn good by Ted Cruz, if I say so myself. Oh, and we have another super chat through YouTube here from Pincalo, the Driving Ape Man, who says he was wearing the cult leader starter kit. He looked like hell. I'm just saying. So here's Jack Dorsey and the exchange with Senator Ted Cruz. And we'll stop it here and there, but this is the C-SPAN version, so I don't necessarily have to. Here we go. Maybe.
To more information and specifically state election officials. So we want to give the people using the service as much information as possible.
Oh, thank you, whoa. And I don't know who he was talking to there. We want to give the people using the service as much information as possible, except for the information we don't want them to have. Maybe I should just have a bell ready for every line. Not a bell. How about if we do the, every time he tells a lie, I'm going to play the lies, lies, lies song. Okay, I'm ready for that. Here we go.
Senator Blumenthal, Senator Cruz.
Chairman, I want to thank you, Mr. Chairman, for holding this hearing. The three witnesses we have before this committee today collectively pose, I believe, the single greatest threat to free speech in America and the greatest threat we have to free and fair elections. Yesterday, I spent a considerable amount of time speaking with both Mr. Zuckerberg and Mr. Pichai. I have concerns about the behavior of both of their companies. I would note that Facebook is at the minimum at least trying to make some efforts in the direction of defending free speech. I appreciate their doing so.
Okay.
Google
sucks.
I agree with the concerns that Senator Klobuchar raised. I think Google has more power than any company on the face of the planet.
Yep.
And the antitrust concerns are real. The impact of Google.
Good morning to, I'm not going to say those words, and select a boy. Oh, shoot.
Yeah, boy.
Google has way too much power. Here's what's my problem with Google. Do searches for anything political. Do a search on Google, then do the same search on Yahoo, Bing, and DuckDuckGo. And Yahoo, Bing, DuckDuckGo will probably have a little more similar flavor to them. Whereas whenever you Google anything, or let's do a search on Google for anything, you always get these mainstream media, leftist, democratic things all up front. Sometimes you look up stuff for something that's specifically conservative or well, let's say some issue, for example, like Amy Coney Barrett, okay? You won't find a positive article on Amy Coney Barrett until probably the 4th page. Well, how many of you, when you're doing searches on the internet, go to the 4th page to find what you're looking for? No, their algorithms are designed to go to, what does HB call them? Approved, let's see, approved, something, authoritative sources. Oh, approved news from authoritative sources, also known as ANAS. And it just, I mean, Google's terrible, and yet they're the king, right? They're the king of search engines. In fact, have you ever tried to change your, like if you have an Android phone, have you ever tried to change your search engine preference on an Android phone? Because Google is the Android thing, right? It takes like 27 steps to change from Google as your main search on an Android phone to something else. It's really ridiculous. Anyway, let's listen to Ted Cruz here.
Google is profound. And I expect we will have continued and ongoing discussions about Google's abuse of that power and its willingness to manipulate search outcomes to influence and change election results. But today, I want to focus my questioning on Mr. Dorsey and on Twitter.
Let's talk to Mr.
Because
Dorsey.
of the three players before us, I think Twitter's conduct has by far been the most egregious.
Good morning, MC.
Hammer time.
Mr. Dorsey, does Twitter have the ability to influence elections?
No.
You don't believe Twitter has any ability to influence elections?
No, we are one part of a broad spectrum of communication channels that people have.
So you testify to this committee right now that Twitter, when it silences people, when it censors people, when it blocks political speech, that has no impact on elections?
Hey,
People have
Hey,
choice
whoa.
of other.
there's the Discord link. It's showing up now. So my bot's working again. Okay. I'm going to go back and listen. I'm sorry, I kind of cut that question off.
People, when it censors people, when it blocks political speech, that has no impact on elections?
People have choice of other communication channels with which.
Not if they don't hear information. If you don't think you have the power to influence elections, why do you block anything?
Ding!
Well, we have policies.
Yes, that is the best question you can ask any of the social media companies. If he says that they don't influence elections, why do you censor anything? What's the point? If Twitter does not affect elections, then what was all that Russia bullshit about? Remember that? You said Russian bots. You're kicking Russian bots off. Oh, so they don't affect elections? Well, then what's the point? What's the point? Then fine. Don't censor anything, right? Good morning to Not Provided. What's happening? Donatello Slap-a-Fellow. What's up? And good morning to my friend Cynical Lindsay. Hello, my friend. How you doing? FTG to Jack Dorsey just immediately. Okay, hang on here. I'm gonna do a little FTG Jack. Bam. Jack, you jackass. Oh, by the way, I got a programming note
that are
from Mo.
focused on making sure that more voices on the platform are possible.
No!
We see a lot of abuse and harassment, which ends up silencing people and having them leave from the platform.
All right, Mr. Dorsey, I found your opening questions, your opening answers absurd on their face.
Yes, it
Let's
is.
talk about the last 2 weeks in particular. As you know, I have long been concerned about Twitter's pattern of censoring and silencing individual Americans with whom Twitter disagrees. But 2 weeks ago, Twitter, and to a lesser extent Facebook, crossed a threshold that is fundamental in our country. 2 weeks ago, Twitter made the unilateral decision to censor the New York Post in a series of 2 blockbuster articles.
Okay, I'm going to pause this. Thank you, Hypnagogic Monk. Good morning, and be safe. Be safe today. And also good morning to Atheist Icon.
Both alleging evidence of corruption against Joe Biden. The first concerning Ukraine, the second concerning communist China. And Twitter made the decision, number one, to prevent any user, from sharing those stories. And number two, you went even further and blocked the New York Post from sharing on Twitter its own reporting. Why did Twitter make the decision to censor the New York Post?
We had a hack materials policy.
When was that policy adopted?
In 2018.
In 2018. Go ahead. What was the policy?
So the policy is around limiting the spread of materials that are hacked.
Wait, whoa, Jack, my buddy, Jack, my man. Wait a minute, Jack. Was there any evidence whatsoever that any of the materials that the New York Post talked about, which they sourced in the original article as to where they came from, was there any evidence that they were hacked? Because it's not hacked material. Clearly not hacked material. Good morning, Nathan Payton. No hacked material, Jack. Oh my God. In fact,
Distributor for hack materials. We found that the New York Post, because it showed the direct materials, screenshots of the direct materials,
They were
was
hacked.
unclear how those were attained. That it fell under this policy.
It said right in the article
So
how
in
they
your
were
view,
obtained.
if it's unclear the source of
Hello,
the
Robert
document, in this
Labian.
instance, the New York Post documented what it said the source was, which it said it was a laptop owned by Hunter Biden that had been turned into a repair store. So they weren't hiding what they claimed to be the source. Is it your position that Twitter, when you can't tell the source, blocks press stories?
No, not at all. Our team made a fast decision. The enforcement action, however, of blocking URLs, both in tweets and in DM, in direct messages, we believe was incorrect. And we changed it
Today,
24
right now, the New York Post is still blocked from tweeting 2 weeks later.
Yes, they have to log into their account, which they can do at this minute, delete the original tweet, which fell under our original enforcement actions, and they can tweet the exact same material from the exact same article, and it would go
Sorry. What he's saying now is false. Twitter does have the ability to unlock the New York Post account without them deleting anything. Twitter has the ability to do that, unless they don't have control of their own platform. Because see, the New York Post was given one of those stupid warnings that your account is suspended and you can delete this post. But wait a minute, Twitter changed their the status of the post within 24 hours, saying that people could post it. So why would the New York Post have to do anything? Twitter could absolutely release the lock on the New York Post Twitter account. This is a...
So, Mr. Dorsey, your ability is you have the power to force a media outlet. Let's be clear. The New York Post isn't just some random guy tweeting. The New York Post has the fourth highest circulation of any newspaper in America. The New York Post is over 200 years old. The New York Post was founded by Alexander Hamilton. And your position is that you can sit in Silicon Valley and demand of the media that you can tell them what stories they can publish and you can tell the American people what reporting they can hear. Is that right?
No.
I'm sorry. I just kind of preempted Jack's answer because I knew it was going to be a lie. I'm sorry. Let me let you hear his answer here.
No, this was a, every person, every account, every organization that signs up to Twitter agrees to a terms of service. Terms of service.
So media must genuflect and obey your dictates if they wish to be able to communicate with readers. Is that right?
No, not at all. We recognize an error in this policy, specifically the enforcement.
You're still blocking their posts. You're still blocking their posts. Right now, today, you're blocking their posts.
We're not blocking the post. Anyone can
You're
tweet.
lying, dog-faced pony shoulder.
Can the New York Post post on their Twitter account?
If they go into their account.
No is your answer to that. No, unless they genuflect and agree with your dictates. Let me ask you something. You claimed it was because of a hacked materials policy. I find that facially highly dubious and clearly employed in a deeply partial way. Did Twitter block the distribution of the New York Times' story a few weeks ago that purported to be based on copies of President Trump's tax returns?
Nope.
We didn't find that a violation of our terms of service policy in particular, because it was reporting about the material. It wasn't distributing it.
Okay, well, that's actually not true. They posted what they purported to be original source material, and federal law, federal statute makes it a crime, a federal felony, to distribute someone's tax returns against their knowledge. So that material was based on something that was distributed in violation of federal law, and yet Twitter gleefully allowed people to circulate that. But when the article was critical of Joe Biden, Twitter engaged in rampant censorship and silencing.
And again, we recognized errors in the policy. We changed it within 24 hours. This is.
But you're still blocking the New York Post. You haven't changed it.
We have changed it. They can log into their account and delete the original tweet. That was against.
By the way, until after that hearing, there was still, even though they said that they released the lock on people posting that article, there were still people who were not able to post that article. And until after this hearing, it was completely lifted. It was still being restricted. I don't know if it may be restricted in how much it could be posted or what, but it was still restricted. So another
Politico reporter to take down his post about the New York Post as well. Is that correct?
Within that 24-hour period, yes. But we, as the policy has changed, anyone can tweet
So
the
Twitter takes the view you can censor the New York Post, you can censor Politico, presumably you can censor the New York Times or any other media outlet. Mr. Dorsey, who the hell elected you and put you in charge of what the media are allowed to report and what the American people are allowed to hear? And why do you persist in behaving as a Democratic super PAC, silencing views to the contrary of your political beliefs?
Let's give Mr. Dorsey a few seconds to answer that, and then we'll have to conclude this
happened there?
segment.
Well, we're not doing that, and this is why I opened this hearing with calls for more transparency. We realize we need to earn trust more. We realize that more accountability is needed to show our intentions and to show the outcome.
Thank you, Senator.
The clapping was for Ted Cruz. How'd that happen? That's the first time I've ever been able to do two at the same time. Anyway, give a round of applause for Ted Cruz one more time. Now, let me give you a little bit of opinion here. And I've said this before, but I'm going to say it again. It's time for somebody. I don't know who for sure. I have a couple people in mind in particular, but it's time for somebody to go into court and sue either Twitter or Facebook or Reddit or whoever does this, particularly Twitter though, because Twitter is the quintessential, it's like the forest fires in California. In a badly managed forest, there's all kinds of timbers and stuff that they haven't cleaned up in the aisles. And so you set a fire and it just goes whoosh and sets the whole world on fire. And that's what Twitter is when information goes out on it, because people use it to basically mess with other people. I think it's time for somebody with a high-powered lawyer, particularly L. Lynn Wood or Robert, what's that guy's name? Robert, anyway, the dude that's always on with Viva Frei. And they need to sue Twitter. Okay, let's just start with Twitter. Let's say Twitter. They need to sue Twitter. And it could be YouTube, Google, Facebook, whatever, any of them. And Marty, you cannot sue social media companies. Oh, on the contrary, you absolutely can, because let me tell you, and I want someone to test the Section 230 protection of the social media companies. Now, because Section 230 protects the social media companies, Robert Barnes, thank you. Robert Barnes suggests suing individuals, not corporations. Well, whatever. We'll figure. Let me finish this thought. And I would say Nick Salmon might be a good candidate for this. The kid in Kenosha, not so much yet, because he's got a long way to go in his other legal issues. But let's say Nick Salmon, for example, sues Twitter. I'm pretty sure you can make the argument that Twitter has not been acting as a platform, as the way the Section 230 describes it. They've been acting as a publisher, because clearly Twitter curates its trending topics. Clearly, with this in particular, Twitter made editorial decisions to remove certain things to make they're publishing. They're not being a platform. They're not you're saying that you should be, Section 230 says you're not liable for things that people post on your platform because you are not a publisher. You're not one curating the content on your platform. People are posting their own content on your platform. Twitter clearly is making editorial decisions on what does and does not go on their platform, particular in this news story. But I can give you 1,000 examples. Thus, they are acting as a publisher. Now, the FCC, is it the federal? Yeah, FCC is going to be adding some guidance to this, right? But I forget the FCC. Based on how the law is written right now, I think you certainly convinced the courts that Twitter is acting as a publisher and is therefore now liable, unless they get some directive to change their ways. Okay? You can be a publisher, right? But a publisher, well, let's see. Can a publisher be liable for something? I don't know. I mean, you certainly, or, well, I don't know, maybe Sue Jack. I don't know. I think that case could be made. I mean, it's just me not, again, I'm not a lawyer. I just sometimes play one on the internet because somehow I got the nickname Lawyer Dog at one point in my internet excursion. But I don't know. I think it's worth a shot. So anyway, all right, let me do a quick commercial and we will come back and do some more FTGs right after this inspiring message from this really good looking guy. I'm going to tell you, this guy's, damn, never mind.
Hey everybody, it's me, Marty. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I hope you're enjoying the show. The Morning Night Live is sponsored by you, the viewers of the Morning Night Live. Please, if you have a moment, take time to share this stream by hitting that little arrow down below or up here if you're on a mobile. And please hit the like button. I know you like it if you're still here and you're still watching. And finally, if you want to support the show, you can do that through your donations and super chats, which are in the description down below. You can do that at Streamlabs link or at PDawgKnight.live. That every little bit helps. And thank you for watching. Now back to the show.
All right, we're back. Hey, by the way, I do have my cup of reparations coffee. I showed it to you earlier. If you have a beverage, we'll do that Scott, whatever his name is, Scott Adams thing. And let's all just have a toast to all the... I was going to say to all the dickwads that we're going to throw some FTGs at, but just let's have a toast to each other, have a simultaneous sip. The coffee's really good today. All right, move on. And yes, this is the cup my son got me for Father's Day a couple years ago. Yes. PDawg the Boomer has a dad joke on his cup. All right. So other news yesterday, this guy, Miles Taylor. Unbelievable. Miles Taylor, if you don't know that name, well, remember the New York Times had an article a while back, early in the Trump administration, and some anonymous editorial in the New York Times of a guy who was in the Trump administration. And the New York Times made it sound like it was someone in the cabinet. I mean, they made it sound like this is a high-ranking official. Decided that they were going to be the resistance from inside, right? The resistance from inside. And, it was, obviously the anti-Trump media loved it, that there was someone inside trying to screw around with what the president was trying to do. Well, apparently anonymous is former Department of Homeland Security official Miles Taylor. Former Department of Homeland Security official Miles Taylor on Wednesday revealed himself as anonymous, the author of an op-ed vowing resistance to President Trump. Taylor, who previously denied he was anonymous, triggered intense speculation about the identity of the disgruntled staffer in September 2018 when he wrote of, quote, working diligently from within to frustrate part of Trump's agenda and his worst inclinations. Taylor, a paid CNN contributor. Oh my God. Since last month was DHS chief of staff for less than half a year and left the department in November 2019. He anonymously wrote the book, A Warning, last year. Taylor's LinkedIn profile says he's on leave from Google where he worked, and he works for Google too. He works for both Google and CNN. Oh my God, this guy. Anyway, he says he's on leave from Google where he works as U.S. lead for advanced technology and security strategy. Yay. White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany dismissed Taylor as a low-level aide in a Wednesday afternoon statement. This low-level disgruntled former staffer is a liar and a coward who chose anonymity over action and leaking over leading, McEnany said. He was ineffective and incompetent during his time at DHS as DHS chief of staff, which is why he was promptly fired after only serving in the role for a matter of weeks. It is appalling a low-ranking official would be granted anonymity, and it is clear why the New York Times is doing the bidding of never-Trumpers and Democrats. Trump campaign spokesman Hogan Gidley, a White House staffer during the time Taylor worked at DHS, said, This is an endorsement right here. You got to listen to this one carefully. This is the least impressive, lamest political reveal of all time. I worked with DHS officials while I was in the White House, and even I had to research who Miles Taylor was. And then Vice President Mike Pence, Secretary of State Mike Pompeo, and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley publicly denied writing the initial op-ed in the New York Times. Yeah, they thought that the New York Times made it sound like it was someone who talks to the president every day, someone in the cabinet or something. And apparently, Taylor has never met President Trump. Taylor tweeted Wednesday, Donald Trump is a man without character. That is why I wrote A Warning, and it's why me and my colleagues have spoken out against him in our own names for months. This is some dumb bureaucrat who just stayed on while the new administration came on. Come on, dude. It's time for everyone to step out of the shadows. Yeah, I got a better idea. If you don't like the president and his agenda, find a new job until he's gone. That's what I would do. If you don't, I mean, seriously, get the fuck out of there. In a blog post, Taylor wrote, issuing my critiques without attribution forced the president to answer them directly on their merits or not at all, rather than creating distractions through petty insults and name calling. I wanted the attention to be on the arguments themselves. Well, that worked, didn't it? Oh, just, you know what? Here we go. FTG. What's his name? I didn't even know his name. Miles Taylor. FTG Miles Taylor. Hey, but I don't even need to read the rest of it because the next article is also about Miles Taylor. CNN, this is CNN, who sucks. Thank you, CNN sucks, for being here and let me know that CNN sucks because it's so redundant anyway. CNN contributor Anonymous will remain with the network after lying on air. Because remember this? Do you remember this? When what's his name? Anderson Cooper, I think directly asked this guy if he was anonymous. CNN contributor Miles Taylor will remain with the network despite lying on the air about being the anonymous administration official who wrote a book condemning President Donald Trump. A CNN spokesman said Wednesday that Taylor would stay on. Well, of course he would. He's anti-Trump. Come on. This is CNN. Of course he would stay on. It's, he wrote a book. I mean, isn't James Clapper a CNN contributor? The guy who lied under oath to Congress, yes. And don't they have John Brennan every once in a while too? I mean, he lied to Congress multiple times. Yeah, but that's, he's CIA. That's what they do. Anyway, so Taylor would say on the same day he identified himself as anonymous, the author of the book A Warning in 2019 and a New York Times op-ed in 2018. In both, he slammed Trump as a tempestuous. Wow, I almost need a thesaurus for that word, but I kind of know what it means. And unfit for office. Taylor also boasted in the op-ed that he was one of the senior officials working to frustrate parts of his agenda and his worst inclinations. He had a very high sense of self in his job as chief of staff. I don't know that that's a senior official, but anyway. And they have Andrew McCabe, the guy who got fired for lying to the FBI. Yeah, I mean, now he was a senior official. He was the deputy director and a temporary director of the FBI. But geez, oh yeah, CNN has Andrew McCabe. Yeah, they hire anyone who is anti-Trump. So that is a bonus on your resume. Oh my gosh. I wear a mask for two things, Anderson, Halloween and pandemic. So no, says Miles when asked by Anderson Cooper if he's the author of the op-ed book written by someone. So here he is lying to Anderson Cooper.
You mentioned the president's mental acuity was discussed daily by senior members in the administration, including those in the cabinet.
Yeah, but Miles Taylor never met the president.
I mean, there was that story early on about the 25th Amendment having been discussed. Was that ever something that
Okay, I'm not going to watch this whole thing. He lied to Anderson Cooper. This is 4 minutes long, and I don't have 4 minutes of my life to waste on this anymore. Let's see. Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about Philadelphia. Maddie had a good piece on her site, and I'm going to go into that. I had it right here. What did I do with it? Here we go. So if you're not familiar with what happened in Philadelphia, Maddie in the chat, this is from her site. In fact, I'm going to link her site here because she has a nice summary right here that we're going to use. And there you go. So the shooting of Walter Wallace Jr. prompts Philadelphia riots. National Guard called in. And the afternoon of October 26, Walter Wallace Jr. was seen walking around a residential street with a knife in his possession. Witnesses say that his mother was trying to restrain him, but he continued to advance towards the officers. Police say he ignored the commands to put down his knife before they opened fire. Sources listed at the end of the Post report that 14 total shots were fired, but no one could confirm how many actually hit Wallace. I think later they figured out it was 10. An officer on the scene drove Wallace to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Mother said she's called an ambulance. It has been reported that the mother called for an ambulance, not the police, for intervention for her son's mental health crisis. It is unclear when the ambulance was called, but sources listed state the police had been called to the home 3 previous times before the incident took place. Now, in this situation too, if they call 911, even though you're calling for an ambulance, they're going to dispatch what's needed for the situation. I got zapped by Google. What happened? What happened to me? What happened here? Anyway, tell me what happened to me. Hello, Jimmy from Philly, by the way. Tell me what happened, how I got zapped by Google. So when you call 911, you might be calling for an ambulance, but if you describe the situation, the dispatchers are trained to send what they need. And if there's a knife involved, they are going to send police with that dispatch to make sure that the people who come to the ambulance aren't injured. So the police might get there first, and that's what happened in this case. There has been an investigation launched. The officers were taken off the streets while the investigation is ongoing. Police Chief Inspector Frank Vernor confirmed that the call had been received before the incident in regards to a man screaming and stating he was armed with a knife. Neither officers had tasers, an ongoing problem with funding for the department. And as one Police Commissioner Daniel Outlaw has been, and one police commissioner, Daniel Outlaw, has been combating by saying that the department had previously asked for funding to equip more officers with tasers. You know, I'm sorry, with a knife, if he's coming at you, tasers may be effective, and you may be able to disarm, but if they don't have tasers, they have to use what they have to use. There are calls for release of body cam footage to the public. The names of the officers and their descriptions have not been released while the investigation is ongoing. And so that's what's been causing the riots in Philadelphia. And so let's see. That's this strike run. Nope, that's Jack. That's Vietnam. So now let's hear how the mainstream media is describing the violence in Philadelphia. Philadelphia police shot and killed Walter Wallace Jr. on Monday, and violence, riots, and looting erupted in the city within hours, numerous sources reported. Much of the media has been reluctant to use terminology that would indicate rioting rather than protests with heightened tension, despite what has appeared to unfold in Philadelphia. At least one police vehicle was set on fire and destroyed, and more than 30 people were arrested for charges including looting, rioting, assaulting officers. Police in Philadelphia said that 30 officers were injured during the riots. Dozens were hit with rocks and other projectiles, and a 56-year-old female was hit by a pickup truck and hospitalized, USA Today reported. Steve Keeley of Fox 29 reported that 11 people were shot while looting, and looters were shooting looters. So here's that. Steve Keeley says 11 people shot. In Philadelphia, so far last night, looters were shooting looters. A 50-year-old man that had his car filled then was carjacked and had all this stuff restolen from him, and he called the police. He looted. By the way, good morning, Midnight in Exile. Good morning, Lord Stanhope. He looted. I don't mean to laugh, but the dude, he filled his car with loot that he got from wherever he got it from, right? And he got carjacked. And he called the police because he had been carjacked. Oh my gosh. 56-year-old female officer was hit by a pickup truck. Yeah, that was there was a video of that. I saw that the other day. That was bad. So looters are now ransacking Philadelphia or Walmart. Yeah, they looted a Walmart and some other stores. Steady stream of looters carrying out flat screen TVs, shoes, and shopping carts full of items. So CBS News referred to the wait a minute, PDawg. The best was the guy dragging a mannequin through the parking lot. I didn't see that one. Oh my gosh. I haven't seen that one. Anyway, CBS News referred to the hospitalizations of police officers who were, quote, hit by projectiles, including rocks and bricks, end quote, and, quote, protesters anyway, surrounding the Philadelphia police precinct Monday as violent protests in a headline. The Philadelphia Inquirer said that, quote, tension flared between officers and demonstrators, end quote, while, quote, scattered looting broke out, end quote. Police and demonstrators skirmished. Oh, they skirmished. That sounds so gentle. That sounds like, oh, they're just yelling at each other and maybe had a tappy fight or something. Police and demonstrators skirmished, and officers used pepper spray and batons, making numerous arrests. Oh, those violent officers. Some of the demonstrators hurled debris at police, and one officer was struck by a water bottle. The publication mentions that the evening had begun peacefully, but then 300 people marched to the police station, which is where they were met by police in riot shields. Oops, not riot shields. I meant in riot shields. The The Associated Press wrote, in the passive voice, we're referring to 30 officers who were struck with projectiles and injured. Yeah, 30 officers who were struck with projectiles and injured, not mentioning the individuals who threw the objects. Here's the quote. 30 officers were injured, most of them from being struck by projectiles such as bricks and rocks, according to preliminary information from the police. Yes, those rocks and bricks it was like the freaking, like Damien and the Omen. The bricks and rocks just started flying through the air just out of the blue, and they hit the police officers. I mean, couldn't the police officers get out of the way? The AP refers to an interaction between protesters and police turning violent at times. Oh my God. And then there's the Washington Post that says Democratic Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf authorized the state's National Guard after a, quote, smaller protest that turned destructive Monday. The first day of, quote, demonstrations and lootings left shops damaged and at least 30 officers injured. That's so freaking passive, it's embarrassing. Yeah, the protesters attacked the officers and Jesus Christ. Pardon me for those who don't like me using that terminology. Good Lord. Let's see. The Post also describes a large protest in New York City. A large protest in New York City, based on a New York Daily News report where, quote, people shattered windows at several stores, lit fires, and sprayed graffiti on a police van. The protests near 52nd Street were broken up by police who detained and arrested dozens as they marched toward angry crowds. Yes, the police were marching toward the angry. Good God. The Post said that police repelled rocks, bricks, kicks, and shove with their riot gear, but does not specify what group of individuals was throwing these objects. Can I just, you know what? Okay, and here's CNN's description. And this is good. This is why the media needs to be dropped into the dumpster fire that they already are. CNN said one group of protesters peacefully marched, but the protest turned violent near the police precinct where several people in the crowd threw rocks, light bulbs, or bricks at the police. CNN referred to violent protest and unrest. Unrest, yes, it's just unrest. They were so restful, and now they're unrest. By the way, you can FTG all these organizations one at a time. The Philadelphia Inquirer, CBS News, the Associated Press, the Washington Post, CNN, NBC described a second night of protests that saw some looting, despite Wallace's family's plea for an end to any violence or looting. Other demonstrations Tuesday were described as peaceful, including one that drew as many as 500 people. The article cites an Inquirer story that reported, quote, mostly peaceful march. Mostly peaceful. 93% peaceful. Except for the 7% that's burning shit down. And then we have ABC, one of the few mainstream outlets to use the word riot in a reference to the escalation of violence in Philadelphia. The confrontation that cost 27-year-old Walter Wallace Jr. his life Monday afternoon set off protests that devolved into rioting, looting, and led to 30 cops being injured and 91 people being arrested, officials said. Well, at least they said the word riot. Large protests erupted across the city following Wallace's death. The protests escalated into looting, rioting, and numerous assaults. Yeah, they just said that. Why did they write that twice? The Philly Voice described the individuals who threw rocks and projectiles at police and set police vehicles on fire as protesters. And then New York. Oh, this idiot from New York Times, Eric Lipton. New York Times investigative reporter Eric Lipton accused conservative voices of trying to draw attention to looting. Wait a minute. What's the story here? Once the pew pew incident is over, the story is what's happening, right? And if it's what's happening is mass rioting and looting, that's the story. That's the story you tell. You don't say, oh, well, you know, there was some peaceful protesters and then a couple of them walked into Walmart, may have just taken a couple things while they were there, but it was mostly peaceful. Eric Lipton writes on Twitter, watching my Twitter feed since last night, very notable the intensity of tweets from conservative voices looking to draw attention to looting in Philadelphia. Yes, it happened. New York Times covered it as well. Just remarkable how conservatives want to elevate it. Well, I'm pretty sure the people who maybe own the stores or work in those stores, or maybe the people who just happened to be out on the street that night, on a night out of the town, who probably got pelted with bricks and rocks or got forced to be part of the program, or, you know, get beat up themselves. I'm sure that they, you know, might want to elevate that and tell people the real story. Jackasses. On another related note from the legal insurrection, National Guard was deployed to Philadelphia after violence and looting explodes for the second night. Pennsylvania Governor Tom Wolf, a Democrat, activated the Pennsylvania National Guard to Philadelphia after violence erupted a second night in a row. They were kind of hoping that this would not happen 2 nights, but it ended up happening again. Several hundred guardsmen will assist local agencies in protecting life, property, and the right to peacefully assemble. Yet, no. They're not there to protect the right to peacefully assemble. See, if it was a peaceful assembly, the National Guard wouldn't have to be called. No. The first part is correct. They're there to protect life, property. You already have the right to peacefully assemble and protest until it's no longer peaceful. We are able to conduct operations in support of civil authorities to enhance local law enforcement's ability to provide continued public safety and critical infrastructure security. That is a military a military way of phrasing it, if I've ever heard one. So anyway, they brought in the National Guard because the people in Walmart were wiling out. This is the Walmart. And I don't know if this is Elijah Schaefer. You know what? Tell you what. We went through this a little bit yesterday, so I'm going to move on. But anyway, also from legal insurrection. This is actually a completely different topic. Let me get rid of all the let's get rid of all the Philadelphia links here, so I don't do that again. And I already did this one. Now some random stuff. And we'll have some random FTGs here in a second. Just like in 2016, we're finding out that leftists are out attacking Trump supporters again, just like they did back then. A family of 7, including 4 children, said that they were pepper sprayed by counter protesters on Sunday while participating in a pro-Trump vehicle caravan in New York City. In the months before the 2016 election, Trump supporters were repeatedly physically attacked by members of the left out in the open, sometimes as they left Trump rallies. In 2020, we're seeing a repeat of this behavior as most of the media looks the other way, just as they did 4 years ago. Here's some from Fox News at Evie Fordham. Trump supporters face a string of attacks in the run-up to Election Day. What we know about the suspects. The Trump campaign called out unprovoked violence against the president's supporters in recent weeks after a string of attacks ranging from New York City to San Francisco. No one should be attacked for peacefully showing their support of the president, and all Americans, regardless of their political affiliation, should be disgusted by this type of unprovoked violence. Trump campaign spokesman told Fox News on Tuesday. Statement comes after a family of 7, including 4 children. Well, we just read that. A spokesman for the New York City Police Department said 11 people were taken into custody after the rally descended into chaos and violence Sunday afternoon. One of the people arrested on Sunday A 36-year-old homeless man identified as Devin Harris is accused of throwing eggs at two police officers' faces and then resisting arrest, the NYPD said. Well, gosh, we don't want people throwing eggs, and we don't want people beating people in the street. But yeah, here's a little taste of the... We saw some of this. We saw some of this. That's what they're out there. So they're out there attacking people in the cars. This guy's just trying to get out of there. So anyway, it turned into a bit of a mayhem situation. And anyway, good morning, Thomas Cleaver. Good morning, Gamer Valine. So glad you're here. All right, let's move on. I'm trying to get to some of these headlines. By the way, we do have 59 watching today. Let's hopefully we can get to 69. I may have said that before. Anyway, there's only 22 likes though. Hit the like button if you like what we're doing, and thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming and watching the show. Let's see. Oh, this one This was out of Breitbart. A Vietnamese Baptist church was burned in Philadelphia during the Black Lives Matter riots. Never mind. A Vietnamese Baptist church in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, was a total loss after being burned during Black Lives Matter protests and riots on Tuesday night, according to a news report and video footage released Wednesday. So that's unfortunate that they got their Vietnamese Baptist church was burned. Pastor says they poured a chemical accelerant on the roof and set fire to the building. Video of the aftermath of the fire, which is what we're watching right now. So that sucks. The Baptist Press via Kentucky Today reported the building of a Vietnamese Baptist church in Philadelphia was burned Tuesday night during a second night of unrest in the city after the police shooting of a black man Monday. Pastor Philip Pham received a call Tuesday night from a church member whose friend had seen the flames and 7 fire trucks surrounding the church. I have no idea why they attacked her church. They burned it from the roof. They threw flammable chemicals on the roof, and flame burned through the roof, down through the rest of the building. He said the facility is a total loss. So, so sad, man. It's just, they damage lives. I don't know, and the rioters, unfortunately, when it turns into a riot, they don't tend to be discerning in any way. So it's really sad. Richard asked me, PDawg, did you see another terrorist attack in France? Yes. Yeah, and you're not hearing about much on that on Twitter. They decapitated a woman at a church and stabbed 2 others. Yes, that's just brutal. It's over the Charlie Hebdo cartoons from way back when, where so recently there was a teacher who was teaching a class, and he told the kids, or people in his class that if you don't want to see these images, because they weren't talking about things that were controversial. And so he showed the Charlie Hebdo cartoons depicting Muhammad as a cartoon, and somebody came and killed him and beheaded him. And now there's even more riots. People denouncing France just for that. And now there's more, this other attack in France where they went into a church and killed a woman, beheaded her, killed 2 other people. It's just, I don't know the details of the story, but it's heart-wrenching. And I don't know, it's unfathomable to me why this is happening. So anyway, let's go a little bit into the Hunter Biden thing. This was an interesting story. So this story, which we talked about earlier, was being throttled by Twitter and the social media companies. And, the big hour-long interview on Hunter Tony Bobolinsky on Tucker Carlson the other night. You know, they have receipts, they have emails. Not a single person with the last name Biden has disputed any of the emails, any of the information that's been coming out, other than, you know, calling it a smear. Thank you, Gabriel Valine, with the $4.99 through Super Chat. Protests across Europe over shutdowns. Now this, the French aren't good at wars, fantastic at overthrowing government. Yeah, the problem, and the immigrant population in France is pretty huge, especially in certain areas where, I don't have anything against immigrants. Let me clear this up real quick. Unfortunately, there's a large population in parts of France that are, I wouldn't say predisposed, but maybe encouraged to to participate in things that I'm not going to finish the sentence for, but I think you can get the drift. And, you know, it's, and part of it is because it's a large population of males who have been, you know, displaced to these parts of Europe. And there tends to be violent tendencies when certain things are depicted, if you know what I'm saying. Good morning. How you doing? France is doomed. That's I kind of feel that way too. Hey, Larry. Good morning, Scotty Dubs too. All right, let's go back to Hunter Biden. So I was talking about how, you know, Twitter and the social media companies are throttling the story, right? And you would think, look, it's not like they don't have actual evidence. They know the store where the guy had the hard drive. They know that these documents are most likely real because, and again, not a single person named Biden has said any of the information is false because, you know, and here's my theory. If they did right now say that the information is not real and it turned out to be real, they would even look like bigger assholes. By the way, give an FTG to anyone named Biden. But Twitter and the social media places are not even allowing the story really to disseminate, although now they are. Twitter is at least. But the media, the mainstream media, is ignoring a story about corruption and graft and influence peddling and nepotism of a politician that has eyewitnesses giving hour-long interviews in some places and yet being completely ignored. It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Mainstream nets dedicate 0.32% of airtime to Hunter's hard drive. And no, that doesn't mean what you think it means if you got a dirty mind. A study revealed that the big three mainstream media networks, ABC, NBC, and CBS, have dedicated a scant 0.32% of airtime to covering Hunter Biden's hard drive since the story broke on October 14th. Throughout the 2 weeks after the first New York Post story dropped on Hunter Biden's corrupt business dealings and his father's involvement, the three networks dedicated 21 minutes and 46 seconds out of 113 hours of total programming to the story. Newsbuster calculated the negligible sum of nearly 2 week time period ranging from October 14th to October 27th. In total, ABC spent 65 seconds on the story. This is over 2 weeks. Thank you, Gunfox, with the $2 in the Streamlabs. And you know what, Gunfox?
You are the new Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day.
I'm sorry, but YouTube people, but unfortunately, I only am able to do that with the Streamlab viewers, so that's why there's a Streamlabs Superstar Donor of the Day. Plus, they don't take as much of your money from that you give to me and put it in their pocket, they're a little bit more, they're whatever. Thank you, GunFox61, who says, and I'm quoting here, and it may be in trouble for it, but who says Muslims are barbarians that are being allowed to overrun Europe. We need another crusade to clear them out. Again, I'm quoting, put them all in a bus, put them all to the sword and fire, purge the heretics and clean out this heresy. God wills it for the emperor. Oh, that's a quote. That's not even quoting GunFox. That's a quote from something though. What is that from, GunFox? I know I've heard that before. Anyway, so thank you, GunFox61, for the $2 super chat. In Minecraft, of course. ABC spent a total of 65 seconds on the story. NBC, as in Nobody Cares Network, spent 9 minutes on the story. And CBS, as in SEEBS, spent 11 minutes and 41 seconds on the story. Unbelievable. In many cases, the hard drive from hell was only uncovered to delegitimize the validity of the information found on the device. On ABC's Good Morning America, for example, correspondent Tammy Bruce described the story as as predicated on unverifiable claims. Tammy Bruce said that? Maybe this is a different Tammy Bruce. It can't be Tammy Bruce. Anyway, as expected. Oops, what the hell happened there? Okay, that was not how I wanted to do it. Oh, this is the News Buster story. Where's okay, that's this is the full News Buster story. Where does it start at Tammy Bruce? They devote a bunch of their time to knocking it down. Okay. The failure of the 3 evening newscasts to cover this story is especially glaring. Over the 14-day period, the 3 evening news broadcasts aired 27 newscasts without mentioning the Hunter Biden scandal. How does it not even get mentioned over these last 2 weeks? Not mentioning it at all. That's unbelievable. ABC World News Tonight maintained a blackout on 10 of 11 broadcasts. CBS News mentioned the scandal just 3 of 11 possible broadcasts. NBC Nightly News brought up the Hunter scandals in only 4 of 13 broadcasts. Both ABC World News Tonight and NBC Nightly News went 7 straight shows without a mention of the Hunter Biden allegations. On the October 23rd edition of ABC's Good Morning America, correspondent Mary Bruce. Oh, it was Mary Bruce, not Tammy Bruce. I was going to say Tammy Bruce is a pundit that I've known for several years, and that does not sound like something Tammy Bruce would write. Mary Bruce knocked down the latest revelations as she alerted her audience to what she denigrated as unverified claims. So let's see. They just have this transcript. Well, here it is. Correspondent Mary Bruce. As expected, the president went personal attack. Okay, somebody can't write a sentence. As expected, the president went personally attacking Biden and his son Hunter, making unverified claims that Biden improperly profited from his son's business endeavors in Ukraine and China. He is the vice president of the United States, and his son, his brother, and his other brother are getting rich. They're like a vacuum cleaner. They're sucking up money. That's Bruce Biden's flatly denied the claims. I have not taken a single penny from any country whatsoever. You know what's funny? Biden's weasel words are amazing. So he says, I haven't taken a single penny from any country whatsoever. I haven't. Did he say his family hasn't? Did he get the money from his son through that country? Or is he saying that the companies that his son paid for, the company that Hunter Biden worked for that paid him, is that, so Joe Biden didn't have to take a penny from any country. It could be called a pass-through. Anyway, Previously, okay, never mind. Thank you, GunFox61, with another $2 via Streamlabs, and you still are the superstar donor of the day for Streamlabs. Mainly Kingdom of Heaven movie, but yeah, Europe is allowing Middle Eastern men of military age men to overrun it. They are. I mean, that's who most of the migrants are, because they're leaving their families behind and they're migrating to Europe. And then they got just a shit ton of, like you said, military age men, between 18 and 30, with nothing to do but break shit. Anyway, good morning, Red Chaos. Okay, it wasn't pennies. It was the unmarked $100 bills. See, telling the truth. Yeah, right, exactly. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Oh, I didn't take. What did he say? I have not taken a single penny from any country whatsoever. No, yeah, it was a big suitcase of unmarked $100 bills. Thank you, Red Castry. Funny, that's funny. Oh, hello, Katie and Skate. I don't know if I said hi yet, but good morning. All right, do I have time for any more? Yeah, I do. Good. Well, now I just wanted to go through some of these headlines, and I may click the articles, but this is from my, oh, wait a minute. Oh, did y'all see Giuliani on Fox Business? I think we did this yesterday, but we couldn't play the tape. So here's that exchange between Rudy Giuliani and Kennedy on Fox Business Channel. Here's this here. Oh, do it again. Here we go.
Christopher Steele is a criminal. You're asserting that I'm a criminal.
Oh, here's what he's yelling about. She likened him to Christopher Steele, the guy who came up with the Steele dossier, and Rudy Giuliani took great offense to that. And so he's saying Christopher Steele is a criminal, and here's the exchange.
Criminal. You're asserting that I'm a criminal.
I'm
that
asserting
I made up these
that
documents.
Eastern Europe is a cesspool and American
I didn't
politics.
get them from Eastern Europe. I didn't get them from Eastern Europe. You are now repeating lying propaganda from the Democratic National Committee and the crooked Biden family. I had nothing to do with Eastern Europe. I got this from the repairman who corroborates it.
All right. Do you regret?
I have. This is
Hunter Biden's totally out of bounds. If you ask
Biden's material. It is proven 100 times over, and I have a voice recording of him in which he talks about being in business with a Chinese spy master. Maybe you should play the recording and see if I don't have it. It's been all over the internet today, and if you were better informed, you would have known that.
Oh, I've read plenty about this. I have, and it's.
Have you heard the recording that's been out there all day of Hunter Biden saying that he is in business with the Chinese spy master, Patrick Ho, and that his big partner, the richest man in China, may be dead, and that he and his father may be called as witnesses?
Wrong Ho.
Did you hear that one?
No, we have not been able to verify large swaths of the material that has allegedly come.
That's because
oh, for fuck's sake. And I don't know why Kennedy's doing this. She's sometimes pretty good, but we haven't been able to verify large swaths of this. How much of the Steele dossier did you verify, Kennedy, or anyone else in the media? Good Lord.
That's because you don't want to verify it.
Ding.
I would love to verify it.
Your sister entity, the New York Post, has verified it. It took 5 days to do it.
Yes,
Why don't you talk to them?
I had the opinion editor from the Post on the show.
You think they're printing false material? You think Rupert Murdoch would let them print false material?
Heavens no.
Just because I gave it to them?
Do you regret?
Do you think I'm an idiot and I'm going to print false material?
Do you regret your interaction in the Borat movie?
No, that's a stupid question, isn't it?
No, it's not stupid at all. I have a
absolutely stupid.
15-year-old daughter. I watched that and I was kind of grossed out by it. I'm giving you a chance to explain.
Why? What?
Okay, now what's funny about that? And look. Who, and I'm not saying Kennedy in particular, but who are the people who are always complaining about Project Veritas and deceptive editing? They always say it was deceptively edited, right? Borat is or whatever his name, the dickhead, I don't even care what his name is, Sacha Baron Cohen, is making a movie where the purpose of the movie is to make people look bad. It's not like it's raw, unedited footage, right? It's a movie where everything he's trying to do is to prank people and make them look as bad as possible. So, and I thought about this, when I've been in a hotel, if I'm sitting, and someone, because I saw the situation. So she's taking the wires out and purposely untucking your shirt and all that shit. And you're sitting on a bed, which is squishy. Have you ever tried to tuck pants in while you're sitting on a bed? Especially if they're a dress shirt into dress pants. So I can see why you'd have to lean back to tuck your shirt in. But it's editing that can make that look like as nefarious as you want or as innocent as you want. Now, let me think about Sacha Baron Cohen, who is one of these people who absolutely hates Donald Trump. Which do you think he would do? Do you think he would edit it to make it look as innocent as possible or as nefarious as possible? That's the question of the day. Put your answer in the chat. Nefarious or innocent? What would he try to make it look like? By the way, I'd give it FTG. FTG Sacha Baron Cohen. Just saying. Just saying. By the way, the link to the Discord server is there in the chat if you want to join the Discord server. Please do not promote this outside of my show, though. Do not promote it out of my show because I just want it to be for people who come and participate in the chat or people who watch the show on the replay. So don't promote it outside of here. Anyway, FTG, Sacha Baron Cohen. My God. Fuck that guy. Did this... Yeah, Fox, Sacha Baron Cohen filmed sneak peek at Borat's daughter. Rudy Giuliani appears to have been caught. His hands down his pants. Yeah, he was tucking his pants in. Anyway, he went on. Let's see. Let's finish this up here.
I called the police when I realized that it was a scam. I called the police and he ran away. Because the minute
and her face
she
is like,
said something
again,
compromising.
You're watching a movie where his purpose was to make him look like he can just insinuate that it's something what it isn't. I'm sorry. I'd say it's out of malice. It's absolutely out of malice, Selector Boy. Exactly.
I called the police. Whether you believe it or not, I was tucking my shirt in. He made it appear as if it was something different. The minute she said she wanted to give me a massage, I called my security guy and we called the New York City Police Department, who came there, and Borat and his 50-man crew ran out of the place.
All right.
So that's what happened.
Finest
Would you like to ask me any other
in the world?
Any other question to attack me for merely coming on your show to show you what criminals they are from a hard drive that's been verified by about 50 people, including the New York Post?
No, I'll see you tomorrow.
Now,
I'll read it for myself. I'll put my eyeballs on it. I can't wait. Thank you for your time.
Well, maybe.
Whatever. Anyway. FTG. So, just some other things happening in the world today, or at least over the last couple days. All kinds of Biden crime family revelations. So, this is a weird one though. Now, this is okay. I'm sorry. I have one that I have to read. So, apparently, Tucker Carlson was supposed to get some documents in Los Angeles the other day when he was going to do this interview with Tony Bobulinski, right? And well, some of the documents that he was supposed to get just vanished, just disappeared out of the ether. We're just gone, right? Why isn't this scrolling? Oh, because I have this closed. No, is that working? Let's go. Okay, there we go. Yeah, so some of the documents that he was waiting for just disappeared. Poof. Poof, they were gone. Fox News. Oh. Hang on. What the hell's going on here? Let's try to refresh this. Or is that? Oh, it's my whole fucking internet. Oh, something was loading. Okay, there we go. Fox News host and Daily Caller co-founder Tucker Carlson said Wednesday that confidential documents related to Hunter Biden vanished en route to him. Carlson said that he had asked a producer to ship the documents, which were reportedly related to Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden and his family, to him in Los Angeles, where he was preparing to interview Biden associate Tony Bobulinski. During the interview, which aired Tuesday, Bobulinski claimed that the former vice president had direct knowledge of his son Hunter's involvement in international business deals, but as of yet, no evidence had directly tied him to those business deals. The Wall Street Journal reported last Friday that based on the available corporate records, there was no role for Joe Biden in Hunter's business. Carlson hinted that the documents his source provided might shed more light on the situation, but as he said during Wednesday's show, they never arrived in Los Angeles. Uh-oh. What the hell? Let's see. Let's see how long this segment is. I may play it if I have time to play something here. Well, maybe not, because it's here. Let's see if we can refresh. Well, anyway, so anyway, the documents are missing. That's it. God, what's going on with my internet? It's screwing me up here. We're just going to close that one. Fuck it. So anyway, other headlines of the day. Those confidential documents related to the Biden family have vanished, going to Tucker Carlson. Also, Tucker Carlson releases alleged audio of Biden allies. If story is verified, it blows up big time. It says you are the key line here. You're about to hear Rob Walker and James Gillier. Those are two of the Biden family business partners on a call with Tony Bobulinski. They're discussing how very worried they are that this story, the one we're talking about now, would emerge in the press, that it would become public, and they wanted to figure out how to handle the fallout from that. The audio is very new. Also, Hunter Biden and a lobbyist named in an IRS complaint against national security nonprofit where they both served on the board. And obviously Biden refuses to answer questions about business dealings in Bobulinski claim. Let's see if this has a video. We'll watch this one. And this may be the last thing we do here. So Biden refuses to answer. Oh, Jim Biden. This is on Wednesday, 2020 Democratic presidential nominee, former. Oh, this is Biden's brother. Apparently he wasn't feeling to answer any questions.
Look at you,
and we
making progress, drinking silk.
Let's mute the commercial, and we'll hopefully that'll. Okay, let's go commercial. Let's go commercial. I don't want to hear the commercial. And action. So somebody hunted down Jim Biden, and he apparently didn't want to talk. Oh, good morning, Johnny Hellcat. What's happening? Nice to see you. And this is a weird way to start this. This might be kind of loud.
Mr. Biden. Hi. Do you care to answer some questions? No. Just wondering, why did you involve Joe Biden in your China deal?
Oh, this has got to be. This has got to be OAN people doing this, because it's fun. You know what's amazing to me?
Are you Mr. Jim Biden?
You know what's completely amazing to me?
I wanted to ask you about the China deal.
Has anyone in the media
You don't want to comment, sir?
booked Jim Biden, Hunter Biden,
What about the plausible deniability?
or even have questions for Joe Biden about this? Now, the very few questions that Joe Biden they've tried to ask, his handlers have just whisked him away. You would think there'd be all kinds of media out here wanting to ask Jim Biden, what the hell? What's going on there, Jim? You're part of this. You've been making money off this thing. In theory, do you want an opportunity to deny it? So so apparently Jim ain't talking. I'm shocked. Has he had any media requests? Just curious. Apparently the media is not all that curious. Also, let's see. While failing to report key facts that illuminate this affair, major media outlets are spreading conspiracy theories and half-truths and brazen falsehoods. Yeah, they're misleading the public about the Biden scandal. We already saw the Rudy Giuliani. Oh, this is another one too that I was gonna just do. We'll finish with this one, even though it's not a happy story. Another story about Philadelphia. Police in Philadelphia discover a van loaded with explosive, suspicious equipment. Law enforcement officials in Philadelphia reportedly launched an investigation into a vehicle that was discovered containing explosives and suspicious items, which comes as the city is rocked by left-wing anti-police commercials that pop up over your internet story. Click. I'm sorry. Which comes as the city is rocked by left-wing anti-police riots and widespread looting. Action News has learned that police recovered propane tanks, torches, and possible dynamite sticks from the van, ABC6 reported. The bomb squad is on the scene at this hour. City officials say at least 200 businesses, as many of them struggling in the midst of a pandemic, were the targets of massive looting across the city. The report added to assist police and determined number of Pennsylvania National Guard troops will be arriving in the city. So there's also been, what's interesting, there have been, I think, 7 or 9, I can't remember the number, 7 or 9 ATM machines that have been blown up in Philadelphia. They had like a crime wave of blowing up ATM machines. Which, again, tells me this is opportunism. Some of it's protest, but most of it's opportunism. All the looting. The looting was 10 miles away from where the incident happened. So why are the protests and looting 10 miles away from where the incident is happening? I'm just curious. Now, a couple quick thank yous. Thank you. Cynical Lindsay, Aaron Meredith, Tyler F., Cindy Rochelle, Becca Fairley, Maddie, for all tweeting out the show this morning or sending it out on social media. Please share this show on social media. Hit the arrow down down there. There's an arrow down there that says share. You can click that and share it on social media. Let's see. Do I have any bookmarks? I'm already running out of time, but I had some bookmarks too. I'm just going to try to get to all of it. Let's see. Oh, yeah, this guy. So, let me just do this real quick. All right, here's a couple quick hitters here. So on Twitter, here's one, you got to be kidding me. The AP won't dig into the laptop from hell, but they'll report this, trying to shame people for sharing the Democrat scandal and that shall not be named. Journalism dead. So apparently. This is a story. Is this the Washington Post? Justice Thomas Weiss boosts unsupported claims against Biden. The wife of Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas is using her Facebook page to amplify unsubstantiated claims of corruption by Joe Biden. Unsubstantiated. Well, unsubstantiated by who? We have eyewitnesses and documents, but you know what? It's interesting how they're all playing offensive linemen for Joe Biden. This one's interesting. A compilation of did you hear about the Girl Scout thing? So the Girl Scouts USA put up a little tweet congratulating Amy Coney Barrett for being the 5th female Supreme Court justice. And the blue check marks lost their flipping minds. And this is just a compilation of all the blue check marks that were bitching about the Girl Scouts, saying this is not a good thing for women and she's going to take away their rights and they're all going to have to wear handmaids costumes and they're all going to be baby factories and then they're going to be thrown out when they're no longer baby factories. Oh my God. So this is all a compilation of all the blue check marks who shat on the Girl Scouts of America yesterday just because they congratulated her for being part of the Supreme Court now. Also, let's see, a couple quick other last ones before we go. This guy was, okay. Matt Walsh says, I was mocked by a lot of idiots on this site when I said Sacha Baron Cohen is a rich Hollywood dirtbag who exploits and mocks poor and middle-class people for entertainment. Please explain again how is wrong in that assessment, and here's why he wrote that. Unemployed Christian grandmother paid only $3,600 to unwittingly star in the Borat sequel. Pastor set up a skyrocketing GoFundMe for her. Here's the story from the, here's the story from the Daily Wire. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The woman who was deceived into being one of the characters in Sacha Baron Cohen's latest Borat film got only $3,600 out of it. After which her pastor set up a GoFundMe to support her. Janice Jones, 62, was chosen by the makers of Borat sequel subsequent movie film after he came to her church in Oklahoma City under the pretense of seeking elderly black women for a documentary. Jones told Variety in an interview published Wednesday. The film, which premiered October 23rd on Amazon Prime, follows Kazakh journalist Borat Sagajev as he attempts to sell off his 15-year-old daughter to an older man. Jones has hired to babysit Tudor, who is introduced to her wearing a ball and chain and using a dog's water bowl. Anyway, they only paid her $3,600. So apparently they set up a GoFundMe for her, and she is she'll get paid now. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, with the $5 through YouTube Super Chat, who says, tidbit of the day, Jello Biafra from the Dead Kennedys ran for president in 2000 as a Green Party member. Yes, they did. Okay. Jello Biafra. Let me look that up. Jello Biafra. Jello Biafra. What would Jello do? Oh, Jello has a YouTube channel. How about that? Eric Reed Boucher, born in June 1958, better known as professional name Jello Biafra, is an American singer, musician, and spoken word artist. He is the former lead singer and songwriter for the San Francisco punk rock band The Dead Kennedys. Initially active from 1979 to 1986, Dead Kennedys were known for rapid-fire music topped with Biafra's sardonic lyrics and biting social commentary. I did not know he ran for president. All right. Very cool. The Dead Kennedys were like major punk band back in the day, if you're not old enough to remember them. Okay, and let's see. Do I have any more? You know what? I got to call it a day. Hey, ho, ho. PDawgKnight has got to go. But before I go and before you go, before you do anything other than tap that little thumbs up down below the screen there, or wherever it is on your phone. I don't know where they even put them on the phone. Unless you have your phone vertical, then it's probably right under the screen. Hit that thumbs up before you go. And I got to thank you all for being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. I got a little disjointed here and there. It's because I didn't get any sleep last night. But no excuses. I'll be back tomorrow. Now, don't click yet. Don't click. I have an extremely important programming note. Okay? An extremely important programming note, because I'm going to get some heat tomorrow for the name of my stream. And I need your help if you're here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central, 1500 GMT. Tomorrow, the name of my stream, and you've heard me say it many times, don't get freaked out about it. The name of my stream will be Donald Trump is a Jackass. Okay? And most of you know what I mean when I say that. And if you don't, well, come by tomorrow. But it's also going to be a call-in show, kind of like a change my mind thing. But for those of you who know what I mean when I say Donald Trump is a jackass, tell people if they show up to cool their jets. It's a, what did I say? It's a feature, not a bug to me. Okay? So when I say, no, I'm not a Democrat. Yep, I know I'm going to get canceled. I know. But when I say Donald Trump is a jackass, I'm not insulting Donald Trump, because when you deal with nothing but jackasses, sometimes you gotta be better, a better jackass. And I gotta tell you, when in 2016, when I was trying to choose between Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, and I didn't necessarily trust Donald Trump to be all that he said he was going to be, that's why I voted for the destruction of the planet by voting for the sweet meteor of death. Everyone here should know I've changed my mind. Because in 2016, I was never Trump, never Hillary. I didn't want either of them. I thought they were both, well, she was a criminal and he's a jackass. But now I'm okay with him being a jackass. It's not a bug. It's a feature. And when you're dealing with all the people around the world who think that, who want to fuck with the United States, I'm happy that he's a jackass. I know he's a jackass. The people who hate him know he's a jackass. His supporters knows he's a jackass. In fact, he knows he's a jackass. And he's the best jackass. He's a powerful jackass. He's a strong jackass. And he's done everything that he said he was going to do, for the most part. Okay? The wall's not finished, but it's got started. And so I'm happy to vote for the jackass in 2020, especially when the other side's jackass scares the shit out of me. So help me out if you're here tomorrow, because that's the title of the stream tomorrow. Donald Trump is a jackass. And I'm probably going to get a few people in here that are going to be like ready to flame the shit out of me. But don't worry, I can handle that part. Just letting you know, just warning you. We'll see you tomorrow. My name is PDawgKnight. And I'm out of here, jackass.
Hey, this is PDawgKnight, and thank you for watching today on the PDawgKnight channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comments section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterward so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cashapp, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm PDawgKnight, and I'm out of here.